You are listening to the Casting Shadows podcast. This episode will be a quick survey from low Earth orbit of the past 2 weeks of RPG Day 2026 posts on my blog, the Casting Shadows blog, and an even briefer report on how the overall event is going so far. Let's start with the overview of the 2026 event so far, as that turned into a pretty interesting discussion on Blue Sky toward the end of last week. Essentially, as we reported a few years ago, and again last year, while the overall number of participants in the event does not seem to be significantly in decline, the number of posts which are served to an individual by their social media platform of choice definitely is, even if you sign up for notifications. Forums and Discord servers do not interfere with their members seeing posts, but those posts have generally always been out of the public eye. So, with more people posting in private places, the number of posts which you can find through search has decreased, although the actual number hasn't. And with service providers actually suppressing search results in favor of things that don't match or things which are ads, again, it seems like there are fewer posts when there are not. So, as a result of all of this nonsense, it can seem to observers that the event is getting smaller, and it can seem to participants like no one is interested in their posts. And as I said, the root of this is the increase in serving ads at the expense of the material of the people using that particular platform, at the expense of the material you, another user of that platform, want to see. And this preference given to items among those you appreciate which draw ad traffic or which are similar enough to a bot to make it a reasonable inclusion, but it's only really being included because it includes ads. And so what you're actually looking for keeps getting pushed farther and farther away from you. It's frustrating. So, what do we do? What do we do? Well, for a few years now, David and I have been asking people to share the posts that other people make and interact with those posts with likes or whatever, so the creator knows you were there. That helps the creator. A great way to make that easier still has always been the hashtag. This year it's RPG Day 2026. But other functions available on your platform of choice, such as lists. Now, I've been using Blue Sky a lot this year, and a lot of you know a character named Peter, also known as Space Baby. He made a list on Blue Sky that captures all the RPG a day posts. It's been invaluable to me, and the last couple of years it's made finding people I know nothing about who are posting RPG a day stuff. It's made it really easy for me, so it's awesome, and it can work for you. So this has actually become a bigger help than just the hashtag by itself. Because of this list, and maybe because of the culture of interaction on Blue Sky, the interaction on Blue Sky this year has been spectacular. Lots of people sharing lots of people's posts, commenting on them, giving support, that kind of thing. It's been fun. It's been what the event should be and used to be. Another great place unsullied by rampant corporate shenanigans has been federated sites like Mastodon. Dice Camp in particular is a haven for RPG people, and there are lots of friendly tools and things which can help get a message out and make it easy to find and make it easy to share. So that's awesome. Overall, as always, short and upbeat social media posts or art get the most reaction. Longer content like a podcast or a blog post or like anything I get it into my head to produce each year has a greater impact over a longer period and much less of an impact right away. Either way, the idea is to participate in ways you can manage and in a format that you enjoy. If this year you can't participate or can't finish, as long as you've interacted in a way that you've enjoyed, that's enough. The event has done its work. If you've done all 31 days and you drove yourself into the ground and feel awesome about it, great. Feel terrible about it? Not great. So, your RPG a day may vary. Anyway, there are literally thousands of people posting each day. If you are seeing few to none of these posts, that is not an indication that there are no posts. It is an indication that a bot somewhere decided you needed another ad. In other words, commerce bots hooked up with Skynet have decided our fate in a microsecond. It's time to get a dog, a plasma rifle in the 40-watt range, and a good search and support strategy. We have to be the John Connor we want to see. All right. On my blog, I have not been producing short, easily consumed media posts or sharing art or any of that sort of stuff. On my blog, I've been combining exploration of some games I like and haven't looked at for a while with the card gen tools baked into the infographic this year. Just to review, this year the infographic is set up as usual to give single word prompts, which we can then use as a springboard into any RPG topic we want. Or we can use it to create and answer any sort of RPG question we want. Or we can use it as a hook for character creation, or whatever other positive thing hoists your sail. In addition, there are also full questions based on the prompts which have been provided for those who prefer working with questions, or for those who run out of time, get stuck, or behind the proverbial 8-ball, or whatever. They're there. Use them. For me, all that has meant that I've been making characters, or I've been discussing making characters with a different game each week. And as the posts go on through the week, I get into whatever nuances entertain or engage me as I go. In the first week, which really was just 2 days long, I looked at the Rivers of London RPG by Chaosium. This is based on a book series I really enjoy, both in print and audio format. And the RPG is a great take on BRP. So, on the first day, I shared a character I've played and a short AP where I got to play him, complete with his character sheet. As well, on the second day, I shared a character concept it would be fun to pair him with. Then, in the first full week of the event, I took a deep delve into a game called Vagabonds of Dyfed by Ben Dutter, which I find compelling and quick to use. I think it's brimming with that old school feel of peril, decision-making, quick card gen, and exploration. It also somehow manages to bridge a gap between a D&D feel and a RuneQuest feel. It does this really well. I'm glad I took that off the shelf again. I haven't looked at it for a while. And if any of you listeners, particularly those who haunt the hallways of the Audio Dungeon Discord, if any of you listeners in the BX and AD&D or earlier set of players, GMs, DMs, have ever looked at Vagabonds of Dyfed, I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences If you've never looked at it, please consider my recommendation to take a look at it. In the second full week of RPG Day 2026, which was the third week of the event overall, I kind of embarrassed my co-host and event founder, David F. Chapman, by demonstrating one of his lesser-known and independently published achievements as a game designer. See, David has been in the gaming industry quite a while, and is perhaps best known for the Vortex system, which is behind the huge game Doctor Who from Cubicle 7. But it doesn't stop there. Anyway, the game of his, which I chose to use, is called Wild. It's a game about dream share technology. And the system in it is robust enough that you can use it to support games that will take their inspiration from sources like the old movie Dreamscape or the not as old movie Inception and so on, where player characters enter the dreams of others, singly or in groups. And what happens in the dream world doesn't necessarily stay there. The game uses an innovative and attractive deck of tarot cards for its system, and they're available through an active and graphical page on the game's website. There's a link in the show notes. Or you can use dice and a chart to link you to the appropriate card. Or you can order the deck of cards from drive-thru. Card Gen is a lot of fun. Gives a good but fast workout for the imagination and provides a solid framework for action, reaction, and interaction, as well as providing everyone triggers and levers and threats for the events in the game. It's really surprisingly juicy. All right. Well, now we're currently in the third full week of the event, fourth week overall in this month of many weeks. And I'm going to save what I've been releasing recently for the next episode of this podcast. Will I give you a hint? I'll give you one. The only hint is that it's an old and important favorite of mine. Well, that wraps up this episode, if not in record time, then in less time than you've come to fear. I hope that works for you, but the dogs tell me that if I take too much more time, there will be a spirited uprising. And I would rather just go play fetch than have that happen, even if it's coming on 1 a.m. as I record this. Okay. Thanks for listening. And as always, take care. You have been listening to the Casting Shadows podcast, an audio-only extension of the Casting Shadows blog and the Runeslinger YouTube channel. To leave a voice message, please go to speakpipe.com/castingshadowspodcast, all one word. To contact me by other means, please check the show notes. Other links to other things mentioned in this episode may be there as well.